Well, good afternoon, YouTube. Fat Cat Collections back at you with another product review today. And today I'm going to be talking about a product by a company called Zmodo. Now, if you're not new to my channel, you know I mainly review watches, but I will basically review any product that I get. It's important, I think, to share my experiences with these products with the world. I know it's very helpful for me when I'm going to buy a product or make a purchase to be able to see what kind of experiences people have had. I generally will check like consumer reports and check, a lot of the stores will have, reviews based on people's experiences, but nothing like a video review. You really get a real, more interactive experience when you're trying to get information about a product. Now, there are good video reviews and there are poor video reviews. Mine are basically just real-world, regular guy reviews. I'm not going to touch base on every single aspect of the products, but I'll try to give you as much information as possible and basically tell you the bottom line. Is it easy to use? Is it good? Does it work? The basics. These are average, everyday guy reviews. So without further ado, let's talk about two surveillance systems I have, which brought me a lot of peace of mind in my home by Zmodo. Okay. Now, there were a lot of brands to go with out there, different surveillance systems, but I went with Zmodo because it seemed like they've been around for quite some time. They gave you a lot of value for your money, and it seemed like there was some support if you ran into a problem with the hookup. Now, I have tried other cameras which use your standard Omnif, I believe it's called, protocol, which is basically like a standard for a lot of Wi-Fi and security cameras, whereas lots of third-party software you can use to access them. I have to tell you, I bought one of those on eBay, and I've messed around with it before I bought the system. And I have to tell you, even for a tech-savvy guy like myself, I had a heck of a time trying to set up that camera to work with programs like Blue Iris and iSpy. Even the Zmodo cameras here, those programs, I just had a hard time. I can't even get Zmodo to work with any of those third-party programs. So, which is why this is really nice. It just works, folks. It's easy to set up, and it just works. So let me show you what I have. I'm going to start with the first one I got. This is the NVR right here on top, this separate one here with the blue lights. This is a 500 gig hard drive, and this one, it came with 4 wireless cameras. It's a 4-channel NVR. So keep in mind if you're making a purchase and you say, hey, maybe down the road I'll upgrade and get more cameras, make sure you buy a NVR that has the ability to support more channels. This one I bought, I got as a Christmas gift, and it only has 4 channels, and after I had it for a couple months, I said, God, I wish I had more cameras, which is why I bought a second unit. The nice thing about that, though, is you get double alerts and you get double recording. So you have a backup of the cameras that this is recording. Again, over here you see 4 channels. You can select what channels you want, which is a little bit more difficult to do, but it is an option for you. I'll talk about both these units and the differences with the cameras as well. The first one here, both of them have to be hardlined with the Ethernet cable into your network. They don't necessarily have to be where your router is. I chose this as a good option because this is my closet where I have all my media devices in and all my electronics. Both devices have USB ports. You can hook up an exterior mouse. I went with a wireless mouse off eBay, $3 each. I'll put a link in the description where you can pick that up. No reason to go spend 20 bucks on a mouse. These automatically turn off. They're powered by one AA battery. They come with the micro, I believe it's, I don't know if this one's actually Bluetooth. I think it's just some kind of 2.4 gigahertz wireless, I believe. But they work great. They scroll, $3. I didn't want to spend much for them because they don't get used very much. Again, what else? They both have HDMI out, so you can come up to a TV or a monitor. In my case, I went ahead and hooked them up to monitors and the TV, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. And with these devices, they also are recording in the cloud. Now, Zmodo cameras and surveillance systems work with the cloud, so it's not something that basically when you tap into view them remotely, you're viewing them on your home drive. You can select that option if you want, but basically how you view them is through MeShare. And with MeShare, I'll go ahead and open the app. This is what Zmodo uses on all their security systems. Basically what happens is, if these cameras detect motion, it sends me an alert and it'll either show me a clip, like one of the cameras has a microphone downstairs I'm going to show you, so sound was detected, and of course movement will get detected as well. You get either a video clip or you get a 5 still frames of what the actual camera saw. You can log in, see it. If it's a problem, you can come home and actually edit the clip and save the data using a USB drive. Let me show you a little bit more on that there before I close that. So with that MeShare, so those are your events. You can go over here to home, and then you'll have your devices. So this is where you add your... If you didn't have a network video recorder, you could still add the camera. It would show the cameras individually. Because mine are hooked up to NVRs or network video recorders, they're just going to show the NVR, and then it shows an updated still frame of each camera. So I can go over here and I can scroll to NVR 4 frames, 8, and then of course my living room cam, and that one there is a pan tilt camera. I'll show you in a second, okay? Nice thing about it is anything Zmodo you have, these will pick it up on the network and add it to one of the channels on your viewing station, okay? Now if you don't have, for instance, if I didn't have this second 8-channel, this is an 8-channel video recorder or hard drive. If I didn't have that, you wouldn't see the 8 frames. You'd only be limited to 4. So I guess if you had, in my case, I have 9 cameras, 8 of which are hooked up. Naturally, at one point, to add the other camera to this, I'm going to have to delete one camera. I'll probably delete the living room one because I already have it over here. Okay. Nice thing about both the systems, if I go ahead and use my mouse right here, I'll do it on the 4-channel since it's a little larger. I can go ahead and click one of these pictures, and boom, it pulls it up. You can zoom, you can edit, you can do everything from here. So I'll just go ahead and show you zoom. I'll go over here to the top where I highlight my zoom icon, zoom, and then you have a smaller image down here, and you can jump around to where you want to zoom. So there's the end of my driveway. I can zoom out, I can zoom in. Here's a car leaving. See, you could hear that noise that just picked up that car. The motion was detected. And what happened is, how the system works is this records at low resolution, and you view at low resolution. When you view it through the MeShare app, you select HD, and it'll allow you to view it at HD. What this thing does to save hard drive space, it records continuously at a lower resolution, your 480, and then when it detects motion, it starts recording instantly at high definition. So really great feature to save hard drive space. Only differences between the two, one is a Wi-Fi system, the other is a I can't ever get it. Power over Ethernet, basically. It's PoE or something like that. That's how you find it on eBay. I'll put a link in the description, all the stuff. If you want to make this purchase, do it through the link in the bottom. It'll take you to where I got them for the best deals. The wireless one, the Wi-Fi system was $199 shipped. The second one here that I bought was $179 shipped, and that's an 8-channel one. Had I had to do over, I probably would have just got the 8-channel, but being I already had the other one, it's fine. I have dual backups going, and with this system, it records, again, if I didn't mention it, 7 days continuous for free through the MeShare app in the cloud. You can access that from your desktop with a browser or use the phone with their MeShare app. Guys, I've had this now for since December, and these are fantastic. It's great peace of mind. I have security camera notifications that I got on eBay on my windows and doors outside, so in the event somebody comes up, there is a notification there showing them that, hey, you are being 24-hour recorded. If I'm at work and I detect motion and it's something that concerns me, I can call a friend to check it out. Or if it's something really bad, like somebody breaking in or whatnot, or maybe in somewhere they shouldn't be, I can go ahead and notify 911 instantly and they'll come check it out. And then this is just another layer of security with the home security system that I have. So it's great peace of mind knowing what's going on around you. When you're not home, you can always check in and take a peek. I haven't had any issues with the system. Setup on the Wi-Fi one was a little bit more trickier because you actually have to connect to the device and then you connect the device to your network. The only downside I have to say with the Wi-Fi system, I'll go ahead and show you the camera, that you pretty much have to have it naturally plugged in. And so here it is right here. You can see it's got the power cord and of course your antenna, and these have to be near an outlet. Now, in a home, which is why I have them mounted in the windowsill, they work great because I put them in the windowsill. They're protected by the elements, which doesn't really matter because they are completely waterproof, weatherproof. But, the ones I do have outside, I've used with this system here. And this is power over Ethernet. And here's one of these cameras here. Now, both the cameras have infrared and night vision. You see this one here just doesn't have the antenna because this one here receives power and signal through a micro Ethernet cable, which plugs into the back of the DVR. Now, the only downside to this is you have to run all those wires through your attic or underneath your crawl space to get to the camera. But nice thing about them, they're extremely thin, they're white, they're very easy to hide, and the other ones, I have a couple of those outside, and I really had to kind of tuck that wire away because it's black, and it is noticeable. And luckily, I was able to put it near with a small extension cord near an outlet, an existing outlet. But these ones here are great because the ones that are mounted on the second levels, I mean, they're outside. You're getting full night vision at night. They automatically go into night vision mode, and they automatically record, and like I said, any kind of motion. And in the daylight, they will click on. Now, you'll notice a couple of these are black and white. And what I did is on a few of the cameras where they had like this, my front door camera has a really bright outdoor light. sometimes it would trigger the camera to go into regular night vision mode. And so what that happens, and it gets extremely dark, you can't see. So what I did is I just turned on night vision to be on all the time on this camera. And so naturally it's always going to have the infrareds on. When it gets dark, it's still going to be bright. It's not affected by that light coming on. It's always in night vision mode. Same thing with my driveway cam. That's always in night vision mode. The only drawback is it's just not color during the day, which I don't really care. Some of the other ones which aren't affected by the light, which there isn't any kind of like lights that are kind of affecting it and triggering it to go into daylight mode, those will cycle between night mode and LED or night vision mode. What else? Okay, other differences, which is really nice about the bigger one here, the 8-channel. You can add the 8 cameras to it. Okay, it'll pick up any camera on the network, which I haven't really messed around with. Eventually I'm gonna delete one of these when I hook up the other camera, my last camera, in order to have all 8 on here. But it'll be okay because it'll be over here. Nice thing about this, again, they both have HDMI ports, so you can also view them on your phone, your desktop, but also you can plug them into a TV. So with this system right here, it only has one HDMI port. What I've done is I ran that to a cheap eBay digital to analog converter, converts it from HDMI to VGA, and I use this old monitor I wasn't using, okay? When you come over to this system here, this one here actually has an HDMI out and a VGA out, which will support 2 different displays at the same time. So right now I have the VGA one running right here on this monitor, and on my adjacent TV, I can click over and I can see the same image on my 55-inch LED TV in my bedroom if I want to. If I'm laying in bed, I get a notification, I want to check it out, I can do that, and I can still control it the same way with the wireless mouse. So you can see over here, I can zoom in on something. I'll blow it up by double-clicking it. I can actually go over here to zoom, and we'll zoom in on the neighbor's car here. I click on the secondary screen here on where I want, and I can scroll up and down. Well, I'm supposed to be able to scroll up and down. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I can scroll up and down on that image, zoom in and out accordingly. Right click and I can go back to the 8-channel view, and there you have all the cameras. And the same display is on the 55 in the other room. Again, both these are redundant. They're recording whatever they're seeing, whatever I have programmed. So this is recording on a 500 gigabyte hard drive. This is recording on its own 500 gigabyte hard drive. And it's being recorded on a 7-day cloud storage through the MeShare app. So in the event that you have a drive failure, you still aren't going to lose that footage. If you want to get a clip off it, you plug a USB drive into it. You can very easily, with a little, messing around with it, you can very easily, the interface is very straightforward to edit the clip, save it to the drive, and send it to where you need to send it for evidence, or, like I had an issue with the HOA, I had to send something off to them. It's a really great way of having the peace of mind. Like I said, you're at work, instant notifications. Now, it goes off a lot, and that may be of annoyance to some people, but you can turn off those notifications if you don't want to have those things constantly going off. I personally like the peace of mind of knowing anytime a neighbor pulls out, car pulls up, delivery guy shows up, I get the notification. So that's basically how the systems work. One is Wi-Fi. The downside to the Wi-Fi one is you absolutely have to have an outlet. The plus side to the Wi-Fi one is, you can put them at quite some distance, you don't really have to have the wiring. The PoE one, the Power over Ethernet, that comes with 4 cables, 250-foot and 200-foot, which for me was more than enough to get that signal line from that closet into the attic and down around the house to different cameras. This is the other camera in the collection I want to show you. This is a Zmodo Pan Tilt. This one here can be accessed through that same app, through the website. It has its own recording system built in with a micro SD card. Okay, and it's recording to the cloud and to the hard drives upstairs. This one here allows me to remotely access their app. I can pan, tilt, and zoom and look around my entire downstairs. It picks up motion. It'll start recording based on motion, or with like I said, with sound as well. You can also tap into this remotely and talk through it. So if somebody were to come in the house or break in, I could actually say, hey, you're here illegally or whatever. Not that that's going to happen, because police would be called with the alarm system anyway. But the point is, you can actually talk to this. Or if, let's say, we have cell phones, so in text message, so we don't really have to use that. But you can actually turn on and listen to what's going on and communicate with the device. So it's pretty cool, and that can be had on eBay for about $60. So, guys, I hope that answers some of the questions you might have with this system. I think it's one of the best systems you can get for the money. It was really affordable. It just works flawlessly. Now, every now and then with anything Wi-Fi or internet, sometimes things have to be rebooted. I will say, though, probably let me go back in the closet here. If you're kind of leaning on which one to get, if you are willing to take the time in running wires, I recommend the Power over Ethernet one over the Wi-Fi one, because you're not limited to plugs, and the power cabling is really small. And if you live in your own home, or you have access to a crawl space or an attic, that's going to be a much better option for you. If you don't, and you're not willing to crawl through an attic or crawl through space or drill holes, do anything like that, or run wires out the soffit, it's a little bit work, but the Wi-Fi one's nice if you have a situation where you have a lot of outlets. Now, here's the only downside to this. With the Wi-Fi one, okay, Wi-Fi things just need to be rebooted. Routers need to be rebooted and power cycled. It's just the nature of the beast. Very rarely can you leave these things on permanently without having to power cycle them. This particular one here, sometimes it'll say video loss, based on the network. It happens sometimes. I can just unplug the power cord, plug it back in, everything comes back, comes on live. With the other one, the Wi-Fi one, yes, I can do that with the hard drive, but if the cameras need to be power cycled, I actually have to physically go over and unplug them and plug them back in. And I have to tell you, sometimes the wireless ones have caused me a little bit of problems in the past. There was one time when I tried to, I forget exactly what I did, but somehow it lost all the information for the Wi-Fi network, and I had to reprogram the whole thing. So there was a little bit of a headache setting up. I will say, if you're looking for plug and play, the Power over Ethernet one is the far better pick between the two of them. I mean, it really is just plug and play. You really don't have anything to configure. I mean, you just sign up, you add it to your MeShare account, and it just works. The Wi-Fi one's a little more difficult. And again, if you're looking at other cameras on eBay, you can get the Omnif system, which is like, I believe I'm saying that right, Omnif. It's kind of like a standard protocol for a lot of security systems, a lot of secure Wi-Fi, for security cameras, for wireless security protocol. I have one. I messed around with it with some of the free programs out there, and not even free, like the Blue Iris security system that you put on your desktop. A lot of that involves, port forwarding and a lot of router settings, things that are beyond the normal person. And I'm pretty tech savvy with a lot of things, but even for me, I could not get that camera to be viewed remotely, and I could not get that camera to work with Blue Iris and iSpy. Keep in mind, if you have used iSpy and Blue Iris, there are people out there who have been able to get Zmodo feeds to work with that. I tried for hours to try to get Zmodo to work with a third-party software. It just wasn't happening. I couldn't do it. So when you get Zmodo, you're limited to using it with Zmodo for the most part. But it works flawlessly. It gives you the peace of mind, and I think it's a great system. I have no regrets in getting it. Just remember, whatever you buy, make sure you buy something with enough channels. So, I would recommend, if you're going to buy one and you're like, I only need 4 cameras, just get the 8-channel one, even if it only comes with 4 cameras, because then at a later date you can add a camera if you want to, and then you won't have to be worried about buying another drive. So that was my review, folks. I know it was rather long. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the setup, or any other questions you might have regarding any of this camera stuff, by all means let me know. I'm here to help. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and click the like button and subscribe. And if you're interested in purchasing this stuff, I'll put links in the description where you can get this for the best value from the reputable sellers. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.